Hey everybody, it's Jacob and welcome back to day 4 of the Learn SketchUp tutorial series. Today we're going to be covering the materials toolbox. So go up here to the window toolbar and click on materials. We can pull that up right here, and this is our materials pane right here. And from this drop down menu right here, we can actually select the type of materials we want to use. So right now this is water that I have selected. If I scroll up here, I can go to our colors materials. And I'll switch that real quick. And then you can select from these options of materials right here. But we want to go for a wood for our pergola that we made. So we're going to go back to the drop down menu. And we're going to go down to W, wood right there. And we're going to select this wood cherry. Now these materials will already be in. They're just standard inside the program. Alright, so if we come down in here, we select our component. We can just select one of these and a bucket will come right up, and then you can drop it. Oh, I'm gonna have to go inside the component individually and then drop it. And you can see that as I drop and I'm clicking my left mouse to pour it onto it, see how I was doing one single face at a time? Just undo that real quick. If you want to, you can double click and it'll select that whole thing, and then you can pour it and it'll go all over everything that you have selected. Let's click out of that real quick. And now we want to do this same wood right here, but we want to do it a little bit darker. We want to do that for our columns right here. So in order to make a copy of this wood material, this texture look, we're going to go right there. And then I'm going to just do dark wood to name it whatever we want. Dark cherry wood, is what we'll call it. But let's keep the same format. Cherie, dark cherry wood. And then we're going to darken it a little bit right here. Now you may have your color wheel right here. See this? So you can select it by the color wheel. Now if I go like this, I can mess around and get it that color that I want. Or I can change the picker right here to like a red, green, blue, and I can adjust it within there. Or I can go to the HSB. It'll give you different sliders, and this will allow you to tweak it to get it exactly how you want it. Because the color wheel, it's kind of harsh as far as like if I just barely go one way, it goes way too purple. And so now I want to go back to the original color that I had instead of having this. You can come down here and I can just click this reset color, and that'll take us back to the original. All I need to do now, if I have it under color wheel right here, is I just need to darken it like we stated earlier. And to do that, you can just slide this one right here. I'm being a little bit picky right now, and then hit OK. All right, now go back up to the column, double click inside it, and drop that darker wood right there. You can click out of it. Hey guys, it's Jake, and real quick, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. I don't just have SketchUp tutorials, I actually have Ruby programming and Learn GIMP tutorials already going, and a bunch of those. Also some general tutorials and some podcasts. Lumion, which is another 3D modeling software, I actually use it in conjunction with SketchUp to make some really cool, awesome 3D fly-throughs. Then just some general advice stuff. There's my face. You can see what I look like if you haven't seen it before, and seen me before. It's kind of sad. And Wild Academy, the goal here is to make this the largest software programming YouTube channel. And so don't forget to subscribe, and thank you so much. It's all I ask. Really appreciate it. All right, and now let's do the same thing with this cross beam. Double select, and this time we want to do let's go into the wood quick. We want to do the same wood, but we want the grain to be a little bit smaller. So those little waves that you can see inside there, we want that to be just a tiny bit smaller. So we're going to come down here to this size right here. And this will give us our vertical and our horizontal. So currently it's at 6 feet. And I'm just going to pour some so you can kind of see it. So currently it's at 6 feet, and it's actually kind of large, so you can't really see that fine grain detail. We're going to drop this down to 36. And see, you can start to see that wood material. Let's drop it down a little bit more. And now we're really seeing those waves in there. Again, I'm going to drop it down just a little bit more, down to 12. I think that's good. And you'll notice here that the bottom, the vertical, was changing along with the horizontal. That's because I had this locked right here. And so if I unlock that, I can change this to however I want. So I can change that to 24, and that'll just make it vertical instead of horizontally across. But let's go ahead and lock that back up. Oh, I broke the chain. Lock that back up. All right, okay. I think that's good. Now let's jump back out of here. And now what we want to do is we want to put a material on our window right here. So we're going to come into here. Now we have glass. Come down here. Go, well, not glass. I was thinking water in my head for some reason. It's early morning. Usually I do these tutorials at night, and it is, what time is it? 9:49. And usually it's 9:49 at night before I even start prepping for one of these. So I'm trying to change my schedule around. I think it'll be a lot healthier. Where is glass? G, glass. Oh no, it's under translucent actually. And then we're going to go to translucent glass right here, and you can just drop that there. Now I have this whole shed as a component, so that wasn't going to work. Got to double click in there. I'm just going to drop that right there on that window. Right here you got this bottled glass, like this wine glass, and let's put that right there. Well, let's say that I didn't want to use that exact material. I wanted to use a different color for this glass, so I wanted to use like a darker gray. I like to use the darker grays. They're actually more realistic as glass. Glass really isn't that blue. If you take a look at it, kind of even just in the daylight, we represent glass kind of a blue all the time in graphic design, but really, or not graphic design, but in pictures you'll see, like kindergartners and first graders. Well, maybe not, because they haven't been brainwashed yet to a certain color, but glass definitely is a lot more of a black and a gray in its reflexiveness. So I usually do a gray, and then I will go to the color. So what I want to do with this gray is I just want to drop down the opacity right here. And as you can see, if I turn this, you can see that we're starting to see straight through that gray. And that opacity is brought down a lot, and I want to actually click out of it so I can see it a little bit better. I'll still be able to edit this material right here. That'll just give us a better idea. There we go. Now I just want to get a fine, just barely be able to see through it, 90%. Let me be a little bit more, 80. It's coming on too far now. Just do what feels right. Let's click out of it for now. So that's the changing the opacity. Now I want to add a stone veneer on the bottom of this. How I'm going to do that is I'm just going to select this right here and select that. I'm going to bring it up. Let's do 30 inches. Let's see how 30 inches looks. I'm going to hit W. For me, that's just move. So just go to move. W is just my hotkey that I've set up for it. And then while I have that selected, I'm going to start dragging it. Now remember, if you select Control, it'll create a copy. So that's going to give us a new line right here. And I'm going to go up 36 inches here. And so now I've created this lower bottom. This is where I'm going to put the stone at. And looking at this, I think I want to come up a little bit further actually. So let's come back down. I'm going to quickly go up 48 inches instead. You can do the same on yours. If I don't have any energy today, I totally apologize. Got like this. My brain is confused. It's usually sleeping right now. So let's go up 48 inches. There we go. That's better looking. And now I want to create a put a stone veneer down here, and we have options for stone in here. So if I were to go down to stone right here, we could put something like this one right here. Got a component. I click inside of it. I got this. I could do this stone right here. What I really want is to find a different stone online, and I want to use that stone here. And in order to get that into the file, what I do is I just create a copy right here. And then I will come down here to this folder, and then I'll be able to look through my computer for the stone that I want. Now I haven't actually found the stone I want yet, but I'm just quickly giving you a preview of what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pull up Chrome real fast, and I've already looked up Stone Veneer Seamless. Now you want to make sure that this is seamless so that it doesn't have that much of a grid effect once you pull it in. And I'm just going to look for something that I think looks good. I think that one looks good, but I don't know that it's going to actually look good because it's too small. Let's see, there's a little too much shadow going in here. Now with SketchUp, you can never get completely realistic models. And so if you go too far into the realistic on one material, it ends up making the rest of the model look really funky unless you can get really realistic on everything else. So we're not going to go with that one. That doesn't look like it's going to be seamless. Let's see. No, not really. So I hope you're looking up Stone Veneer Seamless in the meantime, finding one that you really like. Let's just go with this one right here. Now if you're on Chrome, you can just go View Image, and then I'm just going to lower that so I can see my desktop. Let's cancel that. I'm just going to drop that in. If you want this image to be with a specific project, I recommend putting the image into that project's folder so that the path is there and always there. And plus, if you ever want to use that same texture later, you'll be able to find that texture. You'll be like, I really want to use that texture from, say, the Johnsons project, right? So you'll go into the Johnsons folder and then you can find that texture there. So that's just, that's just good habits. And so I'm going to come down here to the file, use texture image. I'm going to click this folder right here. And I just threw mine on the desktop for now. I'm going to do Siding Stone Veneer right there. Open that up. And I don't really need to change anything because the opacity is good. I don't know what the size is going to end up looking like because the size of the image matters as far as how that comes out later. So what I do is I'll just hit OK. Then I'll just drop it down. Again, I'm just going to get rid of this as a component. Explode that. It's easier to work with. Drop it right there. And then I lay it right there. And it looks pretty good because we're not doing a huge area. The seams aren't that annoying. See, like right there, you can see that seam. But that's not too bothersome because it's not a huge surface, and so you can't really tell that much. And I can bring this up just a little bit to get rid of those seams. Let's see. Let's do 120. It's a little too large now. We're going to end up right back where we were. Let's just go with, great. We are, aren't we? Fine. 7 feet. We're good. And let's get this one as well. There we go. What I want to do now is put a vertical wood paneling on this upper part of the shed. And so we're just going to create a copy of our cobblestone by clicking the plus symbol right there. And we're going to do vertical wood siding. Make sure to stick with the format of underscoring. It just makes it a lot easier to read. And we're going to open the file. Oh, we got to find one first. So go ahead and go to Google Chrome. I've already done the search so that you didn't have to deal with me looking for one that I wanted. Just do seamless wood paneling texture. And then select one that you really like. You don't have to do the one that I'm doing. And I'm going to do this one right here, even though it's horizontal. And I'll show you why in just a minute. So I'm just going to select that and knock that down. Oh. I can actually just save image as right there. I usually just drag stuff in. Desktop, hit save. All right, now I can go back into the model. Make a copy of that. Vertical underscore wood paneling. To be clear, there is some wood paneling already within SketchUp, but it's not as good as we want it. I'm going to open the one I just brought in. Now you're saying, Jake, this isn't vertical, this is horizontal. Are you mad? And yes, I am mad because Normally, what you'd want to do is you'd want to go on a separate image editor like a GIMP or just the paint tool, and you'd want to rotate this 90 degrees. That'd be the best way to do it if you're always going to use this as a vertical wood. But we're just going to use it once as vertical, even though I labeled it as vertical. We're just going to use it as once for vertical, and then for the rest of the time we want to use it horizontal. So I'm just going to hit OK for now. For the purposes of this tutorial, we will do this wrong. Basically, right now it looks horizontal, and that actually looks really good. I would I'd maybe do it that way anyways, but we want to switch it vertical for this. Gonna right click on there, hit texture, go to position, and from position you have these little pins that you can mess around with, so you can skew it a bit. So if I drag that like that, you can see that I'm starting to really just make it kind of that, vertical, making that rhombus shape out of it, or trapezoid shape out of it. And I'm gonna undo that because I don't want it to look like that. All right, right click, texture, position. Okay, with this you can move it around. And the reason you'd want to do that is maybe because you see that there's those nails right there. Maybe you only want one to show, so maybe you could center that right there. Actually, it'd look better if two showed. So put that right there. And with this, I've never used it, but you can kind of give that like fadeaway effect if you were doing like a city scene and you wanted to make it look like it was getting further away. SketchUp will actually do that just from perspective anyways, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. And then this is the rotate, and this is the one we're going to use. So we're just going to pull this up. Now careful, if you come out, it'll actually scale it. So you want to try and keep it along that same line so that we keep that same scale. And then we can just go ahead and drop it right there. There we go. So that's good. Let's do the other side over here. And let's see, maybe I want to do that one horizontal and the sides vertical. What do you think? No, I'd want to do these ones vertical and the sides horizontal, maybe. Huh. I'm torn, guys. I'm torn. Texture, position. Let's do it one more time. Grab this right here and drop it. Edit it over just a little bit. Position. Come back a little bit this way. Now you notice I just clicked outside of it that I didn't have to worry about it. Oop. Let's just get rid of the nails completely. Just a little bit more. There we go. I'm trying to make sure these edges are as close to on each side as I can get them. And let's get rid of these nails over here. Texture, position. Just pull that up just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I think I like that. The next thing we want to do is we want to take this wood and we want to apply it to the top. How we do that is instead of coming over here and always looking for the way we want, because we're going to get more materials as this model grows, plus we may be in our metals tab and we don't want to have to go back. What we do is we're going to use the sampling tool right here. So just slide this over a little bit, you can see it. This little sample paint right there. And then we can just click that right there with the left mouse button, and you'll see it pulled the dark cherry right up. Then we can double click that. We can select Control A, that'll select all of it. And then you can use your shortcut key, -P, or you can just click that again and then drop that in right there. Okay, so I'll do that again, except for I'll change it back to the lighter one. I'll just hit P for my paint bucket, and I can actually use the Alt button. On Apple, it's going to be your command. And I'm going to sample the lighter wood. Double click in there. And then P will drop it back down. Okay. Now, I'm inside of this component, but I can still sample. So if I go back to my P for paint, I think it's still P. I think it's P by default. If not, you can just select in there. Then I'm going to hold down Alt. As I'm holding down Alt, I'm going to select the darker wood that I want. There we go. And then I'm going to drop it in. So again, you can either use Alt or Command on Mac, or you can just select this sampling tool right here to switch that. Again, I'm going to come in here on this lighter brown. I'm going to drop that in right there. All right, so let's add the roof material. And you can go into roofing right here. Again, kind of explore these materials so you have an idea of what you can use. I'm going to go into roofing real quick, select that, and I'm going to drop some shingles. Now, again, as stated earlier, we're going to worry about making the roof better and actually how it would really be built in a different episode. And we'll worry about the door, and we'll add some windows in too, because I still got to show you some more tools in the next tutorial. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Also like the video and share it if you enjoy it. If you have any questions, please leave those in the comments. I really appreciate it. And as I said, please subscribe because it really helps me and it helps the channel grow and it helps people know that it exists. And that's all I ask. So thank you and have a good one. Bye.